Good evening and welcome to the April 9, 2024 meeting of the Pequannock Township Council. Ms. Marsh.
In accordance with the requirements of New Jersey's Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting was included in the annual meeting notice, which was filed in the office of the Township Clerk, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, published as a legal notice in the Suburban Trends and Daily Record newspapers, and distributed to all persons requesting notice in accordance with Township policy.
Excellent, thank you. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a prayer and a moment of thanks for individuals serving our nation. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Most gracious Providence, we ask that you bless this governing body with an abundance of wisdom and understanding so that every deliberation will result in actions which will promote the common good and the general welfare for all of the people of Pequannock Township. Amen.
All right, Ms. Marsh, could you please call the roll?
Mr. Dreesy?
Present.
Mrs. Florence Lynch? Here. Mr. Cole?
Here.
Mrs. Russell? Here. Mayor Hurd?
Here. What is all over my hands? Got it. Okay. Next on the agenda is presentations. This is recognition of volunteer firefighters and first aid squad members. So, let's see. Should we do rock, paper, scissors? Who wants to go first?
Let's just all go up front.
I'll go front.
If council would join me up front, let's start with first aid squad. All right. I'm going to start with Bobby Joe Murphy. I don't think anybody knows this young lady. Apparently, you've been on the squad for 25 plus years, and you're 26. I'm not sure how that happened. I really appreciate it. Quick stuff. I really appreciate it. Thank you for everything that you do, not only for the squad, but for town. For the short period of time I've known Bobby Joe, she's been involved in the first aid squad as well as floods. We've had a couple of those. But she was always the rock that, got things done. She's also a wonderful singer. So if anybody's able to come to the first aid squad Oktoberfest, that is by far the most fun we have all year. And you'll get a chance to listen to Miss Bobby Joe Murphy. She rocks it. Yes, just don't fall over. I don't know what happened there. But listen, I do appreciate everything that you do, and I wanted to give you this to recognize you for 25 years. So, thank you very much for being part of this town. Well, especially when we talk about our volunteers and really all you guys. None of you guys have to do this. Literally. Whether it's first aid squad getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning and running up to Cedar Crest, whether it's, company 1, company 2, getting out of your nice warm beds that I'm still sleeping in and putting out a fire in the middle of winter where everything is just freezing when you throw water on it. It's crazy. None of you guys have to do this, but I want to know that. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Congrats, Bobby. I don't know what to say about Ron. You sure it's only been 25 years? You do look like a young buck as well. Kind of like both you guys just right out of high school went right into it. But again, I really appreciate everything that you do. Not only is it first aid squad and volunteering, but it's really making sure everything is there. Everything that the chief needs, everything that the squad needs, backing up police, backing up fire company 1 and 2. Again, it's not just one person, although we really appreciate the 25 years. It starts with one person, and one person can make a difference. And that really comes to all you guys. Again, I'm not the one jumping out of my bed at 1 o'clock in the morning. You guys. So I want to say thank you very much. I really appreciate it. That's for your 25 plus years of service.
we're going to go into the fire department, and we have a number of different levels of years. Melissa's going to take a group, Kyle's going to take a group, John's going to take a group, and I'll take a group. But we just wanted to say thank you so much for your dedication. As Ryan said, getting out of bed when everyone is still sleeping, we realize the dedication and the commitment that you have to the residents of Pequannock Township. And we truly, wholeheartedly appreciate everything that the First Aid Squad does and that our volunteers at Company 1 and Company 2 do. So grateful for all of you. So thank you, and we'll start with Kyle.
Okay, for 25 years of service and grateful recognition, Juliet Bianca. In grateful recognition, 25 years, Mark Room. $25, Steve Size. Thank you for everything we've done for 25 years.
Thank you.
Totally appreciate everything.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for your dedication.
Thank you.
Okay, moving along. I'm doing the 30 years. So, Bill Sanford. 30 years at Fire Company 2.
Big 3-0.
And you did that as of 2023, right?
Yep.
So, congratulations.
Thank you.
You got it? Okay. Jerry Ingenito. Is Jerry here? Didn't see Jerry. Jerry had 30 years also as of 2023. And I had 35 years of service for Dave Reeves. Come on. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Just short of 100. Very good.
Thank you. Don't forget to smile for the camera.
This is my turn. So here we got 45 years. That's impressive. That's very, very impressive. Very impressive. Company 1, Eugene McCune.
Thank you for your dedication.
Not a day or a week.
We'll get a picture, Jim, with the liaison.
There you go.
Oh, like sneaking in the back.
Where's Roll?
Also 45 years for Company 1, James Schneider.
Thank you for your dedication.
Well, we'll all get these pictures.
I'll have everybody come up afterwards and do another one.
Yeah.
Good job, Good job. 45 years, Company 2, Ron Merlino.
I think they call him Big Ron, isn't it? Yeah.
Congratulations. Thank you for your dedication.
And we'll do a group shot.
Gotta get a picture.
And it goes on.
Now we have 50. And I believe Art Schmidt was in Ohio this morning on his way back, so I don't see Art here. He's still in traffic. Okay. 50 years, Company 2, Ralph Hook. Ralph achieved this in 2021.
Wow. 60 you are.
Yes. You have a watch, because the style of ride goes off at 7.
And another 50 years, Rich Giardini. Oh, 54. Rich received this in 2021 as well.
We're just a little behind.
But did I say the last name right?
No, that's Gerard.
Gerard, sorry.
Congratulations to the 54 years. That's excellent.
Thank you, sir.
And that's all we have. Yeah. All right. One big picture. United States flag, our company. Yeah, please. Great. You too. Let's go.
Was that time for the fire truck?
You just got a piece of paper from the fire truck.
Hey, Victor, do we still have power with that transformer fire?
Here's to come out better here.
I'm just here for the festivities and
Everybody look that way.
I thought it was Jimmy.
All right, good. Now, can we get all the volunteers in the room and you too? Come on, get up here. Everybody. Chief, let's go.
Get somebody else to take a picture.
Everybody, Marco.
All the
Marco
volunteers.
Little, come on, you're a volunteer. Get up here.
Peter, will you take a picture?
Hey, I'm front and center.
Everybody got a wide angle on this thing?
Good job, Peter.
Very good. Looks good?
You got some? All right, good.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Here a couple times, but we can't. That's why I said, take a picture of everybody. I didn't know. I'm going to sign that. Who's the chief? Congratulations, sir. We'll have to do it again. No, I don't know how many other people were missed like that. Hey, Marty, congratulations on 38 years. We just heard. Was that all with Company 2? Was that all with Company 2?
Scott should have
Scott-
backdated it like everybody else.
Well, still 34 here. Oh my God, what's his name? Scott should have given us your name. He would have backdated it. No, they went back.
Well, like Rich, we did from 2021.
Well, thank you for coming.
You don't want to do that. You're not quick enough.
Chase, nor am I good for shot.
He didn't say anything, I just told him.
Very, very good. Thank you.
Alrighty. Are we going to?
Are you going to use it?
No.
Who are those, firemen?
You want to get it to him?
Yeah, Mark. I'll see them Thursday.
Alrighty. Yes. Okay. Next on the agenda is reports from volunteers. At this time, if there are any reports or comments from any of the volunteers serving our community, please come up to the microphone. None? No? Okay. Seeing none. Next on the agenda is public comment. Public comment period will be limited to a total of 30 minutes. An additional period for public comment is reserved later in the meeting. Individuals are requested to limit their question and comments to 3 minutes. If anybody wishes to address the council, please wait to be recognized and come to the microphone and provide your name for the record. Come on up.
Good evening. My name is Paul Mailer. I'm a resident of Pequannock Township. I'm here tonight with legal counsel, as well as with witnesses who will, when called upon, attest to the following incident. Following the public portion of the March 26, 2024 Pequannock Township Town Council meeting, myself and a group of residents left the meeting room as the Town Council went into executive session. We then stood outside the municipal building discussing our many concerns for our public library. Shortly before 9 p.m., the Town Council representatives began filing out of the building, and I asked Mayor Ryan Hurd if I could have a minute. As he turned towards me, I extended my hand for a friendly handshake. As he took my hand, I told him that I wanted to apologize for interrupting him during a segment of the meeting not open to public comment. I said that it was, after all, his meeting and I should not have interrupted him and that it would not happen again. With that, he tightened his grip on my hand, took a menacing step closer to me, and locking eyes with me said, "You're right, it won't happen again either here or at a library meeting." Given his aggressive and threatening manner, I asked him as he turned away if that was a threat. When he failed to answer, I asked again if he had just threatened me. He then replied, "Have a good evening." Just minutes later, at 9:04 p.m., Mayor Hurd then texted Laura Chamber, who had also spoken during the public comment segment of the March 26 meeting. She received the text while still standing outside the municipal building speaking with other residents who had also attended the meeting. Ms. Chamber shared screenshots of the text with me that will confirm those texts were received from Mayor Hurd. His text reads as follows: "Good evening, Laura. Can you please do me a favor and tell Paul to stop threatening me? It is really disheartening and ridiculous. That's not how we do things in town." The next day, Ms. Chamber replied as follows: "Ryan, I do not want to be in the middle between you and Paul. I have not seen or heard Paul threaten you. However, someone told me that it sounded like you threatened Paul after the March 26 meeting." That someone, as mentioned, is Rich Schmermond, who heard me apologize to Mayor Hurd and was then with Ms. Chamber in the parking lot as she received the text from Mayor Hurd. He will also tell you that he heard me ask Mr. Hurd if he had just threatened me. Mr. Schmermond has also provided a written statement and is here tonight. Also here tonight is Township resident Karen Randolph. She will attest to the threat I received from Mayor Hurd as she was standing within earshot. Ms. Randolph has also provided a written statement. Before learning of the text message falsely accusing me of threatening the township mayor, I considered letting the issue rest. After all, I had apologized, He was clearly upset with me, but his threat, while unfortunate, considering his role in the community, was better left alone, in my view. However, to threaten me and then just minutes later send a text reversing the truth of the threat is simply unacceptable and defamatory. Mr. Hurd is in a leadership role in the community, and the oath of office Mr. Hurd has taken as an elected official requires that he act with integrity. As a concerned resident, I should not and will not be bullied, threatened, or silenced when I bring to attention certain matters concerning the welfare of our community and residents. I'm bringing this matter to the Town Council for your consideration, investigation, and immediate action. I do not want or expect an apology from Mayor Hurd. I do, however, expect you, as a collective body of the Pequannock Township Town Council, to take appropriate and immediate action. Given the serious nature of this occurrence, I will wait 7 days for a response from this council. Failing that, I will take my concerns to Morris County and New Jersey State officials for their consideration. Finally, I would like to introduce this statement as well as the statements from Ms. Laura Chamber, Mr. Richard Schmerman, and Ms. Karen Randolph into the public record of this proceeding. I have authentic copies of all the written statements here tonight for each member of the Town Council, as well as for Township Manager Brewer, Township Attorney Oostdike, and will provide them now to Township Clerk Marsh. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you. If anybody else has any comments, please come up to the microphone. Nobody? Come on over, ma'am.
Karen Randolph, Pompton Plains. Before I get into my letter, I would also like to thank many of you that were at the river cleanup. It went really well, and I appreciate your volunteerism. I was asked to recall the events that occurred at the Pequannock Town Council meeting on the evening of March 26, 2024, between Paul Mailer and Mayor Ryan Hurd. Paul read his prepared statement during the public portion of the meeting regarding what he has been and continues to do at the library board meetings. After the public portion was closed, Councilwoman Russell responded to Paul's statements indicating he lied. Paul tried to respond, but the mayor cut him off, declaring he may not speak at this time. As the town council moved into closed session, the rest of the attendees congregated in the lobby area to review the events of the town council meeting. These conversations continued as we proceeded to the parking lot, at which time the council members exited the building. Paul extended his hand for a handshake. I heard him say something about the interruption. I then observed Mayor Hurd move in closer to Paul and said to the effect that Paul will behave here and there. I took this to mean the town council meetings and the library board meetings that Paul has regularly attended. The handshake broke. Mayor Hurd moved away towards his vehicle. Paul said to the effect, "Was that a threat, Mr. Mayor? Was that a threat?" And the mayor continued to walk away and said to the effect, "Have a good night," refusing to answer Paul's question, and drove off. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Would anybody else like to come up to the podium? Last chance. Okay, seeing none. Next on our agenda is manager's report. Mr. Brewer.
Thank you, Mayor. Within my written report, there are a few items. First, as discussed during the budget process in prior meetings, I was given direction to prepare an ordinance with the assistance of council addressing mailboxes damaged during snow plowing operations. The ordinance is for the council's consideration of introduction this evening on the agenda. It includes, as directed, a $100 reimbursement per claim per occurrence. One occurrence every 5 years. The damage must be verified by the DPW director. The individual making the claim must sign a release, and the claim shall be submitted within 15 days of the damage. So that is scheduled for the council's consideration and introduction. Also for the council's consideration this evening, there's a resolution rejecting all bids for the restoration of the Pompton Plains Railroad Station. The township received a 2023 grant from the Morris County Historic Preservation Trust Fund Committee for that project. Unfortunately, the bids came up well in excess of the budgeted amount. Therefore, the Township Council authorized at the last meeting the resubmission of a new application with the revised figures based upon the bid experience, and correspondingly, the resolution is scheduled rejecting all bids, concluding that procurement process. The township received a request from P&A, the contractor for the Route 23 sewer project, to extend the shutdown that the council had previously authorized until on or about March 18th to April 15th. The submission was made to the consulting engineer, who doesn't have the authority to grant that. It was brought to the council at the next possible meeting. April 15th is next week.
So what if we say no?
Well, among the reasons cited were the contractor's consideration of the submission of a value engineering change order. There's no requirement to pause if the contractor is considering to do that. It was the council's expectation that they'd be back. In my opinion, it was a little generous that the shutdown was granted. My recommendation would not be to grant it, but I feel obligated to bring it to the council for their consideration and direction. And then lastly, although not in my written report, there's an ordinance for a public hearing and potential adoption pertaining to the zoning and the cannabis matter. As I articulated in my manager's report at the last council meeting, that is the ordinance where there was an error made by me in terms of identifying the I3 zone, which changed to the AG zone following the zoning change. So although that ordinance is scheduled for public hearing, it is recommended by staff and council that the council reject it. As the council may be aware, at the last council meeting, the corrected ordinance with the appropriate zone was introduced and will be scheduled for public hearing and potential action at a future.
Okay.
So my only question, unless there's other questions.
Hasn't been introduced yet.
No, it was introduced at the last council meeting and has correspondingly been sent to the planning board.
Right.
So the planning board has a time period to review it or not, and then it gets returned to the council.
Got it. Any questions from council?
No.
What are council's thought on the request for shutdown time?
Start work? I would say no.
I would say no.
I would say no, because I feel like they're just going to keep
There's no
extending.
snow. No reason to cancel.
We already shut down.
was
We
all
allowed them
for the
3 months.
dewatering,
I would move forward. We need to get things done. He can submit his information, but he's still got to get things done.
Yes, he retains the right statutorily to submit the value engineering change order, but I understand my
I
direction
do have
is
a
to-
question about it. So if we say no and they have to continue, and they're still having an issue with this dewatering,
So a
What happens?
contract was executed.
right?
So, our perspective is you've been given a contract to complete a project, they have an obligation to complete that.
So they'll just have to keep going until they can figure it out.
No,
I agree. We
it's
can't
described.
keep...
What is the
keep holding it
completion
up.
date on or about? With the 3 months that we extended?
No, we didn't accept it.
It wasn't 3 months.
Yeah.
Wasn't
It was about 6 weeks.
It's about 6 weeks,
Depending
yeah.
upon how you look
Yeah,
at the
I'd say
calendar. That was where Mrs. Russell and I
No.
looked at it differently.
And we kept asking.
Approximately, total completion is approximately fall of next year.
Yeah, October or something. Right?
And substantial completion where people could begin fully using all sewer will be sometime midsummer, if the schedule is kept.
25.
Of 25, correct.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions? No. All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
I'm a little confused about this ordinance for this cannabis. I mean, we're rejecting the ordinance that's on for tonight?
Yes.
Even though it's in public, open?
So it was introduced.
Yeah.
Right.
So the process to complete it would be to hold the public hearing. And
To
then
reject the-
for the council to defeat it so it is clean in the record, if anyone goes back and looks at this in 5 years. And I apologize for the inconvenience, again, it was my error. And then the other ordinance, which has a new number and a new process, can be handled clean.
So that one has already been introduced? That was introduced last? Correct. At the last meeting? What's the new number? Do you know it off the top of your head or?
I don't.
Okay.
It's 8.
But this one,
Is it 8? Okay.
2024-06.
2024-06 is the new one.
No, that's the
No,
old.
that's the
That's
old
the old one.
We're rejecting that.
Okay.
And I need to back up for a second, it just occurred to me. The substantial completion for the Route 23 sewer project is 2024, not 2025, Mayor.
Okay.
Really? I thought it was
I
this year.
apologize. It's this year, it's 2024, it's not 25. So I
Even better.
got rolling with the momentum, but I caught up with it after the fact.
We got another year. Okay. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. All right, next on the agenda is public hearings. So ordinance number 2024-06.
Is flawed.
Do we still call it out, or do we just...
Proceed with the process as you...
Okay. Ms. Marsh?
Ordinance number 2024-06 is an ordinance amending Chapters 360 zoning, 119 cannabis establishment license, and 120 cannabis transfer tax of the revised general ordinances of the Township of Pequannock to permit and regulate cannabis manufacturing establishments as a conditional use.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing.
I'll second.
That's what we're supposed to do, right?
Unless you have any comments.
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. If anybody in the audience has questions or comments on this ordinance, please come to the microphone and identify yourself for the record. Again, we're talking about ordinance number 2024-06. Seeing none? Okay, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Is there a motion to adopt this ordinance?
So, council, do we want to do a motion to adopt and vote in the negative, or do we want to do a motion to reject it?
We have no motion to adopt, because I don't think anybody's going to
Nobody
move
wants
for
to-
adoption.
No,
So with
make
that
a
in mind,
motion to reject it.
I'll make a
Reject it
motion
and
to
close.
reject ordinance number
Yeah.
2024-06.
Can I get a second?
There you go.
All in favor?
Aye.
No, roll call.
Aye. Roll call.
Can I just clarify that was Mrs. Russell?
The roll call to
And Mr. Cole? Seconded, okay. This is on to reject. Mr.
Reject,
Dreesy?
yes.
Not to be a wise guy, but I gotta vote yes to reject, correct?
Yes.
Just making sure I understand with my limited capacity here, so yes.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Yes to reject.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mrs. Russell?
Yes.
Mayor Hurd?
Yes, rejecting ordinance number 2024-06. Excellent. Next on the agenda is public hearing on ordinance number 2024-09. Ms. Marsh.
Ordinance 2024-09 is an ordinance authorizing the execution of a contract for the purchase of Block 4116, Lot 2 from Veli Simsek.
Are there any comments from council?
No.
Is there a motion to open this to a public hearing?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
If anybody in the audience has questions or comments on this ordinance, please come to the microphone and identify yourself for the record. Seeing none, is there a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make-
Motion.
Can I get a second?
I'll make the second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Is there a motion to adopt this ordinance?
Mr. Dreesy? Oh, I'm sorry.
We have to do the...
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance 2024-09.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Very
Now you're up.
confusing. Okay, it's my turn?
Yep.
Mr. Dreesy?
No.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Yes, this is the one on the fence, right? Yeah. Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mrs. Russell?
No.
Mayor Hurd?
Yes. Okay, there are no ordinances, well, there is an ordinance for introduction.
This is mailbox.
Yes. Next on the agenda is introduction of ordinances. Mrs. Marsh.
Ordinance 2024-10 is an ordinance amending Chapter 312 of the Code of the Township of Pequannock and establishing a policy for reimbursement for mailboxes damaged by township vehicles.
Okay, Mr. Brewer, are there any comments?
No, none other than the reason the ordinance is required is because the current policy is codified in the municipal code, so this is the necessary action to make an update or change to that policy.
Okay, thank you. Are there any comments from council?
I don't know if John, if you want to know, I mean, I called local mayors, Lincoln Park, Wayne, Wanacue, and Riverdale, and they all had something on the books to reimburse, so.
So we spoke about it last meeting.
And we talked about $100,
Yep.
so I was good with that.
That makes sense. Do you have any questions about it while we're here?
No, I'm still gonna vote no, but okay.
Is there a motion to introduce this ordinance on first reading?
I'll make a motion to introduce ordinance 2024-10.
I'll second.
Opening can of worms.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Dreesy?
No.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mrs. Russell?
No.
Mayor Hurd?
Yes. Next on the agenda is resolutions. Ms. Marsh.
Beginning with Resolution R 2024-101, confirming the designated memberships in the Pequannock Township Fire Department. 102, approving the designated special event permit license for the Holy Spirit Carnival. 103, approving the designated special event permit application for the First Aid Squad Oktoberfest. R 2024-104, authorizing the Township of Pequannock to enter into a cooperative pricing agreement with the Hunterdon County Educational Services Commission. 2024-105, rejecting any and all bids for the restoration of the Pompton Plains Railroad Station. 2024-106, authorizing the filing of tax appeal counterclaims and authorizing the tax assessor and township attorney to represent the township in connection with the appeals. And R 2024-107, approving the payment of the itemized claims as set forth on the October 5th, 2024 bill list.
Excellent, thank you. Are there any comments on the resolutions from council?
I have one on number 105. So what is the next step with this?
The township submitted another grant application to the County Open Space Trust Fund, the Historic Preservation Trust Fund, which is funded through the Open Space Trust, to get the project done at the greater amount.
So we're waiting to hear
How much
back.
more money do we need? About
$180,000.
Yeah.
So we
Who
have
gave us the original budget?
So the grant application is required to be supported by an estimator, a certified estimator. So the certified estimator in early 2023 gave the estimate for the grant application, which it was based on. We went out
I
to
know
bid.
prices went up, but they didn't go up, 80%.
That's what happened.
Okay. Right, so
That's the bids, yeah.
So do we go for like $410,000? 'Cause by the time we get it, it's probably going to be that much.
We did our best to accommodate an anticipated increase in costs.
All right, cool.
And that's all you're going to say.
When do we hear about this?
Yeah, what's the
That's a good
expected?
question.
So is this like a project for next year then?
This would be a project if awarded for construction in 2025. Yes.
Wow.
Adam, do we know when the response date is on this grant?
There will be presentation in May, early June, and then typically we hear over the summer. Usually around August we hear, once the recommendation is made to the commissioners for final approval.
Do you think we'll go through the whole they'll come out again and look at it again like they did the last time? or-
I leave that to them.
Yeah.
Hopefully
In
not.
speaking with them, the cleanest way to do it was to submit a complete new application. They have the option to fund the delta, but I wanted to give
They've
them...
funded things there before, and they tend to like to see their funding go all the way through to the end. They're really good about that.
And the results of
Just pushes it off a year.
Yeah,
Results of the
it's
bid.
unfortunate, but the results of the bids were also included in the grant application so the committee members could see. It wasn't based upon an arbitrary estimator. It was based upon...
And what was interesting was the bids were like, they really swung
Big difference.
from low to high, but
380,800.
Wow.
but they were also
So they
all
really did a good
higher
job.
than the anticipated.
Correct.
Well, that too.
Which was interesting. Okay.
And the council may be aware, in the past, I've come back with some change orders on some of our projects that we had a chance to fund to make sure things got done in a timely enough fashion. The delta on this was significant enough.
Yeah.
That
A lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, big difference. Any other comments from council?
No.
I have two comments. Holy Spirit Carnival, excellent. That's going to be June 11th through the 15th. And First Aid Squad Oktoberfest, it's for September 28th, 2 through 9. So is there a motion to adopt these resolutions?
I'll make a motion to adopt resolutions R 2024-101 through R 2024-107.
I'll second.
Second, roll call.
Mr. Dracy?
Yes.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mrs. Russell?
Yes.
Mayor Hurd?
Yes. All right, so there are no items for discussion, no reports and notices. Next on the agenda is council reports and announcements. Councilman Derisi.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. What a day. It was a beautiful day today.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
I'm just glad we made it yesterday with all the hype, but anyway, it was a beautiful day today. So, first of all, congratulations to our two new junior firefighters. That's awesome, especially in light of the 45 and 50-year awards we handed out. So they got some big shoes to fill, and it's a good thing that there's some members that have been around a long time to help guide them, so I like that. The Historic Commission did meet. I was not able to go due to work, and I did not hear anything from them, so I'm assuming everything is okay, but if there is something, I'll bring it next time. Parks and Rec did not meet for, what are we, in April? They decided to push it off until May. That's it. So recognition awards that we handed out, again, just it's awesome. It's great that we have great volunteers that want to stick around. And I know Mr. Cole mentioned the time, but it's also the training these people go through. I mean, that's a lot of training and a lot of time. So thank you for your dedication to our little town, right? It is a great town, Mr. Mayor, right?
It sure is.
Okay.
The best that there ever was.
Good. Last Saturday was the river cleanup. I was not able to attend. I did stop at the dedication for the playground. That was awesome. I know Mr. Cole was there the whole time. He'll have a lot to say, but I'm just glad that our first aid squad there, the fire department was there with the truck and the flag, all the volunteers from many states, from I understand, came and helped out. So, and it recognized a good member of Pequannock Township. So that's very good. Just want to say a thank you to the people up here, Mr. Brewer, the council members, Ms. March, Mr. Brewer, Mr. Osteich for keeping us in line and going, to all the other volunteers that work in town. There's a lot of them. A lot of them provide good insight, whether on the Economic Development Committee or Historic Commission, et cetera, et cetera. So it's great that we have people that want to do that. So that's good. And also, I want to give a shout out to all the crossing guards out there. They do a great job every day, whether it's raining or snowing. They're always out there. So thank you for help with our kids. We truly appreciate it, or I truly appreciate it. I'm sure we all do. So, and that's, Mr. Mayor, that's all I got.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. All right, Councilwoman Florence Lynch.
Yeah, a couple things. Some are repeats, but I want to say congratulations to all the volunteers for their years of service. If there was anyone we missed, we'll get it later. I found out before that one of the gentlemen on Fire Company 2, I'm going to shout him out, Marty Dragg, was on 38 years in Fire Company 2, and 4 years before that in Wayne. So I'm not sure if we missed him or what. So if I just wanted to say congratulations to him and to all the other volunteers for their years of service. I also went to the river cleanup this past weekend. It was a huge success. I believe I saw there was over 77 volunteers and a 20-yard dumpster half filled. So that was pretty good. Economic Development Committee, I know they're working on setting up a ribbon cutting for a new business in town. I believe it's called Shamal Photography, and I believe that's going to be May 4th, but I'm waiting for more information on time and to make sure that's when it is. What else? I also was at the dedication for the playground for Tommy Savino. And I'm sure Dave will say more about that because that was his neighbor growing up, but it was just such a wonderful group of people, and the dedication was there. I was not one of the ones doing the build, but I was there for the ribbon cutting and the ceremony, and it was really it was really emotional, and it was really nice to see. What else? The last thing I'm going to mention is there is coming up Morris County is running a senior ID and veterans ID outreach program. So what that is, if you're like a senior and maybe you don't have a valid driver's license anymore, but you need an ID for certain things, the county's going to be here next Wednesday, April 17th at the senior house from 10 to 1. You can either, all the information is on the website on the front page, and there's a flyer there with information. I'm going to try to, I know that it's only a week away, I'll try to get some flyers out around town. Maybe we'll drop them at the library and with permission, and around Town Hall and the Senior Center, so people will know what they have to bring to get that ID. But you can register through the clerk's office. You can just show up, but there are things you need, so I'll try to get those distributed. But it is on the website. You only need to be 55 or older. It's $5, but you can't pay with a personal check, so it's either got to be a money order or cash, and the veterans IDs are free. And if you want more information on that, I have a couple of flyers here. You can pick one up on the way out or look on the website. Other than that, I don't have anything else. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Melissa. All right, next, Councilman Cole.
Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you, Bill.
Bye, Bill.
Congrats to the first responders that we recognized tonight. All of the names came from the three chiefs So I don't know why Marty was missed, but as you saw, that we dated back, so I don't know why he didn't provide Marty's name and just say that he reached that milestone 3 years ago. Congrats to Austin Daniel and Logan Reagan for being our new junior firefighters. The river cleanup, I was only able to stay for roughly an hour because I had the ribbon cutting for the playground. February 27th, I attended was it February or March? When was that, Ryan? The Treps? March?
That was March.
March 27th, I attended the Treps Market at Hillview School. I tell you what, some of these kids, they were all fifth graders that participated. I mean, it was amazing some of the stuff that they made and were selling. So congratulations to all of them. And as everybody, Company 1 met last Friday, just so everybody knows, 29 calls for the month of March. And as everyone said, the playground build, I was there part of the day on April 3rd, left early because of the rain, but I was there all day on the 4th and the 5th. Where Angels Play is, the foundation is a great organization. I mean, they did a great job. They did a great build. It was in memory of Tommy Savino, who passed away from cancer. This was their 65th build. Wow. 65th playground that they've built. They have another one being built later in this month or early June in Massachusetts. I mean, the playground is tremendous. I mean, it was a great dedication and a remembrance of Tommy, so all the kids in Pequannock will be able to play outside and enjoy the fresh air. Let's just say the heating pad and the icy hot were my best friend the 3 days that I worked on that playground, so I'm a little out of shape, and I definitely felt it on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, but it was well worth it, so that's all I have. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. All right, next for my report. Just kidding. Councilman Russell.
No, I don't have much because none of my committees met, with the exception of CDRS. They took all of the suggestions that the committee, I had talked about the committee that we met for like 6 hours the weeks before. So we did vote. It was unanimous vote. And like I said, it's really eye-opening to see all of these people that are asking for money. It's battered women, it's abused children, and the county, gives them their allotted money. And hearing those presentations, it's heartbreaking. It is very heartbreaking. So we did that. We did the river cleanup, which was good. Just so everybody knows, our counselor was there. I know he doesn't like to say this.
Every single year.
Everybody was there. We're all there. We collected a lot of stuff. We pulled out rugs. I think one year we found like boxes and boxes of diapers. Remember that? But you'd be amazed at the things. I think it was a little less than this year because I think some of it was like trapped in like the water that we couldn't get to. But there was a lot. And Dave downplays how much he did for the playground. He does have a bad back, and he went there and he was working in that rain, and they're digging and they're stuck in the mud and they're pulling it out, and so I'm proud of you, Dave.
It's a good thing there wasn't a camera there, because I did fall.
You did? Oh, I would have paid for that. And he gave a very heartfelt dedication, and it was kind of cool because then when they unveiled it, and there's Tommy, and it's cold and it was windy, and all of a sudden they unveiled Tommy's picture and the sun came out, and it was just, it gave everybody chills. I know I'm not the only one. And then the kids were very excited. They almost ran us over when we cut the ribbon, but it was great, and it was great to see. Congratulations to all of our people for their years and their dedication, and all of our volunteers. And people have to realize, we have a lot of volunteers in this town, and that's what does make this town great. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree. I mean, again, our volunteers is the culture that makes up our community. And whether it's people coming together for Tommy's Playground, I had the benefit of running past it actually this morning, and it's beautiful. It's huge. It's so much better than what was there, and for such a great cause, But whether it's that, First Aid Squad, Fire Company 1, Fire Company 2, it really is about the wonderful people who give their time that they don't have to give for the benefit of the town, and that's everything. I mean, we had a proclamation a couple of weeks ago, and everything from library to open space, historic, flood, you name it. And it really is amazing. I mean, you know, Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, the benefit of the kind and generous people in this town, it's amazing. And I really appreciate it. So, with that said, a couple of things. Little League opening day is Saturday, April 20th. That's exciting. The kids always love that because they get to walk down the center of the road from PV over to Washington Park. So do we. It's kind of exciting. The high school music program is having a beefsteak on April 20th. Be there or be square.
I was called this morning and told it was canceled.
Oh, are you serious? Postponed.
Yeah, postponed.
I did not get that update. Yeah. Strike it. I didn't say that. Treps, I have to agree with you. Number one, it was huge. It was in Hillview. So many kids. The difference that I saw this year, because I've been going to it for a couple of years, is the difference of product and quality of product, like handmade soaps, handmade mugs. I got this great mug from IT that has PHS Nation on it. I mean, really thinking outside of the box, arm warmers, socks, like different stuff that I haven't seen before. So, I mean, these are fifth graders from North Boulevard, Gerace, and Hillview. It's the coolest thing ever. Love entrepreneurs, especially when they're starting that young. Last I have is First Aid Squad. So every month I talk about the calls, just like everybody else. You know, these people, guys and gals, jump out of their beds at whenever, literally, sometimes multiple times a night, just to go and help somebody. So last month they did 102 calls. 40 calls were up to Cedar Crest, 2 were Kinnelon, 2 were Bloomingdale, 2 were Butler, 1 was Pompton Lakes, 1 was Wayne. So whenever we go outside of Pequannock, it's mutual aid, so they're going to help those towns as well as still covering our towns. And last year, at the end of the year, we had a little over 1,100 calls. And again, this is from a volunteer crew that only works from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. and Saturday and Sunday. So it is wonderful. And that, I did have one question for Adam. So in my open space meeting, a question came up about invasive species on the properties that we did the buyouts on. Are we allowed to remove them? So we planted trees on all these properties 4 years ago, but now we're noticing some invasive species that I guess kind of choke out the trees or have the potential of doing that. What do we have to do to remove that? Do we have to file paperwork, or can we remove it, or if you can find out?
Yeah, not a question I have an answer to at the moment. I know when you acquire a piece of property through open space acquisition or flood buyout, it's to be returned to nature.
Okay.
So the details of that, though, I don't have. Okay. I can check to see what can be done.
When we were at the Preservation Trust meeting with the county, that did come up, and the county does want us to get rid of the invasive species. They don't want it to get overgrown. They're having major problems in, I believe it was Chatham. They bought a large swath of land, but it just got taken over. And so they're having a hard time getting through. So.
Okay. Yeah,
I'll check, and we get the state level funding and a lot of different sources, so I'll check and see what's
right.
possible.
And that's what part of that money would also go to, keeping the upkeep of the open space in that committee.
The overall question is, can we actually do it? Like, what can we touch
they want us to, but I would, just double check them.
Okay, that'd be good. And that's all I have. So next on the agenda is public comment. If anybody wishes to address the council, please wait to be recognized. Come to the microphone and provide your name for the record. Anybody? Come on up. It's been a while.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Yeah, nice to see you, Sharon.
We're hanging in there. My crew's all gone. 10 years ago, it would have been different. Sharon Taylor. I guess I don't have to say my address anymore, right?
No.
things change. So I just wanted to make a few comments. I did want to say where the Angels Play Foundation, the park looks absolutely beautiful, and the kids in this township should be so lucky to have a place to go in a very safe environment. And between your DPW, your police department, your fire department, all the volunteers for your first aid, it is something that we should never take for granted. And Tommy would be very proud of you. He'd say, get up and keep walking. Don't worry about the icy hot patch, whatever you need. But yeah, I think it looks absolutely beautiful, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else could be done in town with the other parks that are around. Lastly, I did want to say thank you, I guess, as a town member, to all the first aid and for the firefighters that got recognized tonight. You know, we're always thankful for what they do, the volunteers. When you hear something going on, the first thing you think of is how much you can help someone, and they're always the first in line. So thank you very much to them. And the budget, I'm not getting into taxes or anything tonight, but with the budget for this year, with the workshops and all, when could we expect it to be complete? Or has it been completed?
So the budget was passed.
Okay.
Introduced.
Introduced.
Right,
Wait, it
but-
was introduced at the last meeting.
The last meeting.
But what's the question?
So it was introduced, but it hasn't been passed.
Needs public hearing.
Yeah, next meeting.
Next meeting. Okay.
2 weeks.
Thank you very much, everyone.
And Sharon,
See you
you're
at the
right.
next
I mean,
meeting.
it took a village to build that playground. I mean,
Yeah.
DPW, fire department, there were so many volunteers from town that came that I omitted to say. You know, council, the guy that runs the Where Angels Play, he says it was the quickest turnaround ever to get council to approve for them to build the playground. So, yeah, kudos to everyone in town, from the town manager to DPW, the police, the fire departments, first aid squad. I mean, everybody was there to help, so.
Not to mention a full day rain delay.
Yeah.
So I even pushed it back and it still got done.
Yeah, well, the sun will be out, so those kids will enjoy it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sharon.
Sharon.
Anybody else? Okay, seeing none. There are no minutes presented for approval. Next on the agenda is closed session discussion. Is there a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the town council to meet in executive session to discuss matters of attorney-client privilege?
I'll make that motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes. Opposed? At this time, the public portion of the meeting is recessed for closed session.